Hello and welcome to this tutorial. We're going to guide you through using ETIP, Essential Training for Information Providers. We're on the home page of ETIP, a page with which you'll become very familiar over the next few weeks. At the top right, you'll see a completion progress box. This enables you to follow your own progress during the lessons. As each lesson is uploaded every week, a blue box will appear. And once you've completed that lesson, that box turns green. As you move down the screen, you'll see blocks 1, 2 and 3 with 6 dots in each of the blocks. As each week lessons are uploaded, you'll be able to access them by selecting that week. We're going to select block 1 and the lesson now appears. I select the lesson by clicking on it and then this page appears. In order to progress, I must select Enter. The lesson is now loading. In this case, because I've viewed the lesson previously, it offers me the opportunity to resume where I left off. This is a very handy feature. If, perchance, you have to leave a lesson in order to do something else, you can return to it without having to start at the beginning. In this case, I'm going to start at the beginning, so I'm going to select No. The welcome page for ETIP now loads. All ETIP lessons begin like this. At the bottom right of the screen, there's a Next button. In order to progress to the next slide, I select Next. This page is now loading, but I can't select Next until I've had an opportunity to read all the contents. On this page, there is a hyperlink. That's this word here, and I know it's a hyperlink because it's in blue, but also, if I hover over it, my arrow turns to a hand. I'm going to select it. And the page now loads. I can read it and then return to my lesson. I do this by either closing that tab or leaving it there for later reference and selecting the ETIP tab at the top of my screen. That brings me back to my original slide and I select Next. In this case, the Next button has become disabled. It has become grayed out. The reason for that is because I have to do something in order to progress. In this case, I have to select the Read More button. So I'm going to do that. A new page opens. Once I've had an opportunity to read it, I select the red dot at the top with an X in it, and that brings me back to my original slide. I note that the blue Read More button has now turned orange. That means I've complied with the request to read it and I can move on. In this case, the Next button is also disabled because there's a blue icon on the left. If I hover over it, a headline appears, and when I select it, more information appears. The Next button is now enabled and I can progress. All of the lessons in ETIP have access to a menu. It's at the top right here. When I select it, I'll see all the pages that are in the lesson, and the ones that I've already completed are in grey, while the ones I have yet to complete are in black. I can move back to any of the grey ones, but I can't move forward to any of the black ones. On the left of the screen is a Resources button. This allows you access to all of the resources in this particular lesson. In this case, there's only one, the Learning Outcomes, and I can access them by clicking here. I'm now going to progress to a question. When you encounter a question, you must get the answer correct before you can move on. There are, you'll be glad to know, no marks, however, for this. You simply have to get the right answer in order to progress. I'm going to select a wrong answer and see what happens. It tells me that I'm incorrect and I have to try again. So I do so and select Submit, Continue, and I freely move on to the next slide. In this slide, the hyperlink is in blue, but the image is also a hyperlink, and if I select that, that page opens. I'm going to leave it there for later reference by leaving the tab open at the top of the screen. I go back to ETIP by selecting this tab here, and then selecting Next. In this case, the blue Information button gives me some information and when I select it, it leads me to a website. I'm free to use this and to access it if I wish, but I don't have to, because the next button I see has become enabled. I do, however, encourage people to view all the links and hyperlinks in ETIP in order to develop your knowledge and deepen your experience. I'm now going to look at a screencast. When you have a screencast coming up, you must put on your headphones. Then you select the play icon at the bottom left of your screen in order to watch and listen to the screencast. We're now going to go back to the home page of ETIP. And I can do this by selecting this button here in our breadcrumbs trail. The last thing we want to show you is accessing the quiz at the end of every lesson. The last slide will lead you directly to the quiz, but we're just going to have a look at how you complete it. You select it, attempt quiz now, and answer the various questions. So it says here, select the languages that are available on the Citizens Information website. I know that French is included, that Romanian is included, that Polish is included, Irish and English. If I select that, it tells me that I've done the lesson. I submit all and finish, and it tells me that my answers are correct. If I've obtained an incorrect answer, it will tell me I must attain 75% in order to progress to the next lesson and to successfully complete this lesson. If you are unsuccessful on your first attempt, you can attempt it again a couple of days later. That brings us to the end of this tutorial. We hope that you enjoy your experience with ETIP, and if you have any queries, please feel free to contact any member of the Citizens Information Board training team. Enjoy the course.